Good morning. And yesterday, while I was making my video talking about why you shouldn't game share with strangers, and you shouldn't incidentally, it's a really bad idea, I came to the realization that I hadn't actually got round to making a video talking about how to game share on the PlayStation 4. Now, I've already made videos talking about how to do it on the Switch and the Xbox, but as I say, not got round to it on the PlayStation. Not sure why that is, but I just hadn't. And that's why we're here today. I'm going to tell you how to game share on the PlayStation. And before we get started, there are a couple of things to take into account. While it is relatively straightforward to do this, it is a little bit counterintuitive. The second thing to bear in mind is that while it's relatively easy to game share with child accounts on the Switch and the Xbox, it's anything but easy to game share with child accounts on the PlayStation 4. Not sure why that is, but PlayStation seem to have locked down child accounts. And certainly, if you're trying to have a child account that you can play online with, good luck with that. But anyway, having said all that, if you still want to set up a game share, this is how you do it. So, as we can see, if we go along here, we've got my account, Joe Chip, and that's all set up and ready to go. If we go into settings and down to account management and click on that, we can also go down to activate as your primary PS4 and see that this PS4 is set as my primary PS4. The reason you can tell that is if it wasn't set as my primary PS4, activate wouldn't be grayed out. And so if you can see here, we've only got the option to deactivate rather. So as I say, if it wasn't set as my primary PS4, you would have the option to activate it. And usually what happens is when you first set up your PlayStation 4, it automatically sets it as your primary. If you are game sharing though, you do not want your PlayStation 4 set as your primary PlayStation. And the reason for that is, if you can imagine you've got two PlayStations, one downstairs in the lounge and one upstairs in another room for your kids to play with their accounts. What you would need to do is deactivate your PlayStation, which is downstairs in the lounge, and then log on to their PlayStation and activate that as your primary. So that's what we're going to do now. Imagine this is my primary account sat in the lounge. I would go in and I would deactivate it. And then I would select yes, and then I would OK it when it gives me the option to OK. And as you can see, it'll take me back to the desktop. Should do. And the reason it's taking me back to the desktop is I've actually got another account set up on this machine. If I didn't, it would actually take me to a log-on screen, because there would be no accounts logged on, because when you deactivate it as your primary, it logs you off as well. So imagine that's all done and dusted. As you can see here, it's sorted out. It's no longer set as my primary PlayStation. So if we go in and I go switch user and go into Joe Chip, and then I go up and along to settings and account management, activate as your primary PS4. You can see I've got the option to activate now. So this has been deactivated as my primary PS4, which is exactly what I want. What I need to do now is I need to go to the second PlayStation and I need to activate that as my primary. So just bear with me because I'm going to go and do that now. Right, and we're back, and if you can imagine, we are now on the second console upstairs or wherever you might have it, and as you can see, we're logged on as Johnny Test. So if you can imagine, Johnny Test is maybe my kid or another family member, and this is their console. So now what you would need to do is you would need to hit the PlayStation button, and then you would need to go to switch user, and you would need to select Joe Chip, or if I hadn't logged on or you hadn't logged on to this console, you would need to go and select new user and then log on. But assuming you've already logged on, you would go into your account, and then from your account you would go to Settings, Account Management, and then down to Activate as your primary PS4. And as you can see, we've got the option to activate. So if I hit Activate, and it says OK. So if we go back into it again, you should see that it says deactivate. And as I was saying before, if it's grayed out, it means it is activated as your primary PS4. So we can now go back to the desktop. And as you can see, this is all set up as my primary. Now, what will happen now is if my kid comes and logs on, so we go into Power and Switch User, and we go along to Johnny Test. Johnny Test is now logged on, but if we go into Switch User again and look, we can see that they're both logged on, but we've switched users. So I'm still logged on, but the user that is using the console is Johnny Test. So go back to the desktop. As you can see, Johnny Test is now using this console. And all the games that have been bought under my account, Joe Chip's account, are now available to Johnny Test. And if we go all the way along and into library, literally everything is available. Now, as I said, I mentioned before that there's a problem with child accounts with this, and you will find that with child accounts, a lot of these games won't work anyway because they've been locked down due to restrictions on child accounts. But that has nothing to do with the actual game sharing process. So if you're finding some games won't work, it's probably because you're using them or trying to use them with a child account. Other than that, though, that's pretty much how you set it up. It's fairly straightforward and fairly easy. The only other thing you would need to do is obviously down on your machine, you would need to do it the other way round. So if, say, Johnny Test had some games that you wanted to share as well, you would go to your machine and you would set your machine as Johnny Test's primary console. And so then once that's all set up, you can play your games to your heart's content with, as I say, that caveat about child accounts. But anyway, that's it. That's done. I'm going to go and grab myself a cup of tea. I hope this one's useful to somebody. If it is, let me know in the comments and give me a thumbs up and all the usual stuff. And drop us a subscribe as well, because I do a lot of videos like this and hopefully they might be able to help you out. Anyway, as I say, that's me done. I'm going to go and grab that cup of tea and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.